All day today, there has been a justified outpouring of support, memorial, remembrance, etc. on social media, the actual media, print, here on YouTube, anywhere you can find, where many are giving their Mike Leach memories, their Mike Leach stories, and taking time out to remember the fallen Mississippi State head coach who passed away last night at 61 years old in a Jackson hospital. One thing I just saw, however, has me, I don't want to say enraged, but it has me a little baffled. And if ever there is time for a system to be removed, that it's outdated, it's this one. And by no means am I saying this because I'm a prisoner of the moment. This isn't emotion speaking because Leach tragically passed away far too soon. But according to the National Football Committee, and correct me if I'm wrong on that, but Leach is ineligible for the Hall of Fame because a sitting head coach, which he was, has to have a winning percentage of 60% or higher. His career percentage will end at 59.6. Just on the outside looking in, I find that absurd. The fact that a little formality is going to keep somebody like Mike Leach out of the Hall of Fame is nonsensical. And I will tell you, many times removed, win-loss record is not the same all across the board. You cannot look at somebody's career win-loss total and win percentage in the same breath that you do someone else. You've got to look at the jobs they coached at and the positions they took over, where they were before and where they were after Leach, or said coach, in this, this example going to be Leach, left. Obviously, a coach at Alabama, Notre Dame, Florida, Texas, and I say this as a diehard Texas fan, but the Blue Bloods are going to have more at their disposal. So the expectations are going to be higher. But you look at who Mike Leach coached. Texas Tech, Washington State, Mississippi State. What is their track record? What resources do they have? Mike Leach maximized full potential at Texas Tech, full potential at Washington State. We don't really know what the full potential would have been at Mississippi State because, unfortunately, we're having this discussion now. But he appeared well on his way to at least reaching Dan Mullen levels. I think could have potentially done more. On top of that, this is a man who revolutionized the way we look at professional football offenses. Darrell Royal, the late, great Hall of Fame Texas head coach, once said, there's three things that can happen when you throw football. Two of them are bad. Mike Leach came on there and ripped up that script, ripped up the narrative, and changed the game forever. And not just in the college ranks, guys. The pros are moving more towards the air raid. Let's air it out. Let's throw it 500 yards a game. Think about it. Look at these passers now that are putting up 4,000 or 5,000 yard seasons. Back in the day, a 4,000 yard season was exceptional. Now, it's okay. It's the norm. You have Mike Leach to thank for that. So you cannot just look at this man's win-loss record, the fact that he's just a hair outside 60%, and say he doesn't deserve the Hall of Fame because of that. That's foolish. Because his impact far outweighs that percentage. What he did with two schools that are not traditional powerhouses, that in fact are more likely to be found in the bottom half of their conference than they are anywhere near the top, and was well on his way to doing that at a third, who's middle of the pack, deserves all the recognition in the world. He easily could have taken a profile job. And that's, the argument, well, why didn't he take Florida? Why didn't he take this job? Why didn't he take USC? That wasn't who Mike Leach was. Mike Leach relished in the challenges. He wanted to be the coach that put Texas Tech football on the map. He wanted to be the coach that put Washington State football on the map. And he did. He absolutely did. Texas Tech to this day, look, these fans are still heartbroken. And they were heartbroken before, of course, they're heartbroken. He's dead. Look, they were heartbroken weeks ago before the even concept of Mike Leach no longer being with us was fathomable. He is still held in the highest regard. If there is a Bear Bryant of Texas Tech football, it is Mike Leach. He's held in the highest of high esteem at Washington State. And listen, he left both of those schools with some pretty bad blood. He left Texas Tech. There was a lawsuit that had gone on, if I'm not mistaken, up until as recently as 2019 that finally just got settled. Signed a lengthy contract extension with Washington State to stay there. Made coach talk saying, I plan on being here for the rest of my career. And then less than 6 weeks later, he left for Mississippi State. So there was some bad blood when he left. Didn't necessarily leave on the best of terms. But they still hold him in the highest of high regards. That's the coach Mike Leach was. That's why he deserves in the Hall of Fame. What he did at these schools, where he had less and he made more happen. How he revolutionized the game of football. That a large number of coaches in the college ranks, and quite a few in the NFL ranks, mimic and emulate today. There's my thoughts. If you don't agree with me, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. And again, I'm going to state this as nicely as I can. This is not emotion speaking. This is not prisoner of the moment talk, which we have a tendency to be. We react high, greatest of all time when, somebody passes, or, we tend to speak emotional. This is not it. The man's credentials speak for themselves. Thank you for tuning in. I'm JP. We'll talk to you soon.